Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from achickenpasture.com.
And together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Sometimes ladies.
Sometimes.
Welcome back once again for Tobacco Advent Day 13.
Woohoo!
Our annual countdown to Thanksgiving. No.
Yep.
I think we're counting to Christmas this year.
Yeah, we're switching things up this time, guys.
Oh, so what are we smoking today?
Today we are smoking Moravian Seminarian.
That sounds made up.
Yeah, it kind of is. I'm going to read this description. This tobacco comes from Skook with a Uke 13, who's posted a few videos, responses to our questions. Thank you. It's awesome. Keep it up. And
actually has participated in past years as well. Not, I don't think with tobacco, but with maybe just video responses to some things that Aristocob.com is. Never mind.
Probably.
Sorry, Skook with the Uke.
been around.
Big fan.
You've been around, yeah. So she says, I'm a longtime Aristocob fan and a new member of the Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Thank you. And this package is a sample of a blend I made myself called Moravian Seminarian. I am, if you can believe it, a seminary student at Moravian Theological Seminary. I do believe it. And the people I smoke with here at school all like aromatics. In the Moravian tradition, a cake called Moravian sugar cake is shared during the love feast. A love feast celebrates Christian love and harmony. Since this cake is a plain cake with a cinnamon sugar top, I tried to capture that in the blend. The vanilla and cinnamon flavors leave an aftertaste that is very similar to the cake itself. Go slow if you can, as it can smoke hot. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed holiday season, and good luck with the move. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. In our neck of the woods here, in the Piedmont Triad in North Carolina, there's actually quite a number of Moravians, and the town of Winston-Salem was built on or near a Moravian outpost, if you will. Big, old cemetery, and an old, I think it's a women's college, or was it, or what?
I think it may have been. They do tea there. My wife and kids just went there for tea. They did a tour of some of the old buildings there and sang a lot of Christmas hymns, and they always have tea and candles. They brought home some homemade candles and usually some Moravian cookies. It's great.
Moravian cookies are thin little round wafers. They almost remind me of like a communion wafer that some Christian religions have. You know, the whole in communion, the bread that they use, usually it's an unleavened bread, a bread that hasn't risen, which is a throwback to the bread used in Passover Seders. And, wouldn't have been the throwback, that would have been what Jesus would have used at the Last Supper. Right. Would have been an unleavened bread. And the Moravian cookies remind me, though they're sweet, an awful lot of that kind of a bread. Sometimes they'll sell it in a tube, almost like a Pringles potato chip tube, and they're just thin little wafers stacked up inside of the container.
Yep.
I wish they came in Pringles containers.
Except Pringle cans are way too small.
Yeah.
You can never get your hand to the can, like halfway down.
Get your hands in the can.
You just get crumbs all over yourself.
All right.
So I've had Moravian cookies, candles, and tea. This is the first Moravian tobacco.
So Skook with the Uke 13, I wonder, are you over in Winston-Salem? If so, we should hang out. All right, question of the day. Remember, video response will get you in our contest to win a Cobbett Wizard, as well as some Markwood Men's Breakfast Club swag. Okay.
Plane, train, or automobile, what is your most memorable trip in one of these?
All right, the one that pops into my mind, I can't say this is the most memorable one, but a memorable trip in a train was in Germany, heading from northern Germany to southern Germany. I was going to Bad Essen, in the northwest, on down to the south to Alpersbach. And as we got into the train, they were rushing us onto the train, and they said, there's a big storm that's coming. It's coming in from the north, and we are being told that it may actually shut the train down. So get on, we're getting out of here. So we start to take off, heading to the south, and every town that the train would stop in, it was a bit of an express train, so it wasn't stopping constantly, but every, let's say, 20, 30 miles it's stopping. Probably not, it's probably kilometers. And they would come on the loudspeaker and tell us that, okay, we're getting word from this storm. It has just shut down the terminal that we departed from, and every terminal north of that is shut down. It's a bad storm. It's blowing things across the railroad tracks. Let's get going. The entire way down to Alpersbach, they kept telling us, be prepared, that the train company has been in touch with hotels, and if they need to get us off the train, they will. We made it all the way down to this town. I think the town that we were getting off was just outside of Alpersbach. And then we were taking buses then to the actual town. As we step into our hotel, we hear thunder, and it was like the rain came down as one giant drop. It just sploosh. Rain just came down, and it poured down, and apparently it had gone the entire length of Germany. There were trees down, like I said, and cars being blown around, and cows being tipped off their hooves, and it was one of those situations where we were having fun, but I guess if we had known the extent of it while it was going on, we might have had a little bit more fear. Mm-hmm. But how many train stories do people have that are memorable? I mean, that's my only memorable train story.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, my most memorable train story is doing the train with Ender when he was
Ohio Easter train.
Yeah. My son was 2, I think, at the time, and was just loving it. It was so cool. But for me, I think probably one of the most memorable stories, a car ride. I'd come home from school, had taken a train home from school, and had a friend pick me up at the train depot, and went to a concert at a club in Greensboro. And when we left the concert, turned out had been snowing the whole time we were in there. It was just absolute downpour, blizzard conditions. And as we drove home, you couldn't see a foot in front of the car. And so as we drove down the main road home, I had my head out one window. Passenger had her head out the other window, and the driver couldn't see anything. They were just driving where we were telling her to go. And we got to the main intersection closest to our house. They lived another mile down the road, and I told them to just let me out. It's not safe to try to go into my neighborhood. The plows had already been on this main road, but they hadn't gone down the side roads anywhere close to our neighborhood. And so there was probably at this point a foot to 2 feet of snow. It was crazy. It was probably the biggest snow that I've seen since we've lived here. And you guys were out of town somewhere.
Was this over Christmas?
I don't think it was Christmas, because it was just a weekend that I was home, but you were out of town, probably in Ohio or someplace. Yeah. And so I got out and I started walking towards home, and made it, I don't know, a quarter of the way in snow up to my shins, before a pickup truck came and was kind enough to stop and ask me if I needed a ride. Yes, please. This guy drove me to our house. There was no one there. Got out, thanked him. Got inside, realized I had left my cell phone in his truck. Had fallen out of my pocket. And so that whole weekend ended up being a situation where I got onto AOL Instant Messenger, asked my friend to call his phone, or to call my phone because we didn't have a home phone. Then I had to ask a friend to call the pizza place, local pizza place, to order me a pizza. It was and pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
It was because this was before you could order pizzas online, and so it was crazy. It was a crazy car ride. I don't know how we made it home alive.
It sounds memorable.
Yeah, it was.
You know, as you're talking, I've had several of those blizzard memorable car trips. A couple of them. One a legitimate blizzard in October in Buffalo, New York, just out of the blue blizzard, and the other one was trying to get to my buddy Cal's funeral in Cleveland, in Parma, Ohio, and driving from Dayton up there at night alone in a snowstorm where I couldn't see the road at all, and I was basically driving down the road based on mailboxes, just trying to stay between the mailboxes.
You're right. Yeah.
And just big, wet flakes of snow piling up on the windshield. Even with the wipers on, it couldn't wipe fast enough or clean enough for the next deluge to come and fall. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
While it's fun, it's scary in the sense that you could end up in a ditch so easily, or hit the other guy coming the other direction who's being just as careless.
Well, it's less scary, I think, now with cell phones and having the ability to just immediately get some help, or pretty quickly get some help. I can imagine then if you ended up in a ditch, you're just in a ditch. You gotta hope somebody comes by. I hope that you're situated in such a way that you can actually get out of the car and then you're walking someplace.
What do you think? What do you think of this?
I like it.
Moravian Seminarian.
I like it. I think it skews a little English, or maybe it's just from having smoked some other stuff tonight. Not strongly, but it's. I don't know that I would classify it as strictly aromatic.
Well, maybe you're right.
It's also possible that I'm just letting it smoke a little hot.
Yeah.
And that's affecting it.
Well,
I like it.
Skook with the Uke 13. You guys need to subscribe. Thank you for sending this to us. We appreciate that very much. And a cornament will be coming your way soon. And for the rest of you, don't forget to post a video response somewhere and let us know that you've done so.
Yeah.
Put a link in the description below or tell us where to find it, and we'll put you in the contest. So for that, we'll see you tomorrow. Make a great day.
See ya.